people have always told me I have good style. I honestly don't know what they see because I just throw on a bunch of stuff together and hope it works. But now, I'm realizing it's not just a bunch of stuff. It is clothing patterns I've seen in movies or on the internet, read in magazines or even books that have registered in my subconscious and my imagination brings them to life. Fashion means different things to us based on our experiences. It is inspired by a source, one way or another. And that is exactly what this show is about. Welcome to the premiere episode of the Fashion Blueprint, where we reimagine fashion in style. I'm your host, Naomi Ojeh, and I will be doing the honors of walking you through some of the most pivotal moments in fashion history. This first episode is tagged Bridgerton x Victorian. This goes to show that we'll be delving into some of the intricacies of Victorian fashion. This era is one that spanned between the 1830s to like the early 1900s. And it is characterized by things like corsets, waistcoats, laces, all of that, those big bonings for skirts. And that is what we're going to be talking about today. That is the tea. The Victorian era is one that is characterized by a lot of drastic changes in societal norms, cultural norms, technological norms, and fashion is one element that plays a key role in the changes that society experienced. There were a lot of balls, a lot of different dynamics with how the queen operated socially and, those things. So that is what we're going to be talking about today, and it is going to be fantastic. You all know I cannot talk about a critical time such as the Victorian fashion era alone. So I had to bring someone that I consider an expert in the field of fashion. She's going to shed more light on key elements in the Victorian fashion era and how it is reflected in the Nigerian fashion industry today. So join me as I welcome an esteemed guest, a fashion designer and stylist, Miss Emmanuella Egbe, popularly known as Fashnuella.
Thank you so much for having me, Naomi. It's really an honor to be here.
Thank you for joining us. Thank you for honoring my invitation.
Thank you.
Okay, so we'll get right into it. Ella would first introduce herself to us, right?
Okay.
Because, of course, my introduction can never be enough. It cannot carry the weight of when you tell us about yourself by yourself.
All right.
So please do us the honors.
Okay, so like she rightly said, I'm Fashnuella. I'm actually Emmanuella, but my brand name is Fashnuella, and everybody has just been like, oh, Fashnuella, hi. So I've taken it as my name. Thank you. I'm a fashion designer. I'm a stylist. I'm a content creator. I'm a brand influencer. I own a creative agency. So it's like I wear many hats. I'm just an entrepreneur for now. Let's just keep it keep it simple and cute. Okay. Entrepreneur. Thank you.
Okay. And your fashion business, how long have you been running it for?
Okay, I think I'd say well over 10 years now. I think this year will be 10 years. And I was like, okay, I'm going to mark, do something special. But we have a lot to do for the brand. So when we're done with that, I'll celebrate myself. But yeah, about 10 years.
To see. When people were finding their purpose in time, whoa. I mean, I knew I liked fashion very early on, but I was like, I don't think I want to be a fashion designer. Maybe have a franchise.
Yeah.
But I shall know that the road has not really been straight. Fashion, yes, but fashion has so many branches, right? So I think I'm going to dabble into everything.
You should. I would say I would advise people to pick up the skill of sewing. Of course, that's where I started from. But you could start with a sketch. You could start with styling. You could start with joining. You could start with crafting.
I think styling is
where you're like, let me put my hand in. Yeah. You should.
Okay, let's talk.
Okay.
Let's talk fashion. Let's talk Bridgerton. Ooh. Let's talk Victorian, because it's Bridgerton season.
I mean.
Yeah, and we Bridgerton girls, we've...
Right now, I'm like, are we waiting for the next episode?
The sauce.
Yeah,
the British accent is given what it's supposed to keep. Anyway, Ella, when we say Victorian,
okay,
or when I mentioned the word Bridgerton. What comes to mind? When it comes to the fashion anyway, what comes to mind?
First word, corsets. Instantly. I mean, I'm actually wearing a corset. It doesn't look like one, but yeah, corsets.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that makes perfect sense. Oh, you're wearing those invincible ones.
No, it's like, I mean, the Victorian era was like how many years, but decades ago, but like the evolution, you know, mixing and matching different things, using zippers and, you know, invisible corsets, the corset outside with the zip, all of that. So I just incorporated sprinkled a little designing thing on it, and, you know, came up with my own thing.
You're gonna give us a little bit of like a breakdown much later, but let's do the introduction because it's like what you're wearing is the other part of what we're going to talk about today. The reflection of Victorian fashion in today's fashion. I went with the typical, you know, corset look. I mean, if you think about Queen Charlotte or you think about the past Bridgerton seasons, you would see some of, especially when they have like these their events where they want to Diamond,
you know, the Queen's Ball.
Yes, exactly. Where Diamond of the season is looking for husband. I'm looking for husband. Found husband.
Really?
I'm not joking, no, please. I'm married to Jesus.
Okay.
Anyway.
Is that something you're telling me?
No.
Okay.
All right. So corsets first. Then second.
Petticoats.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah.
And of course, tuxedos. We have to just put that in there. Just like,
very important. With the tails. The ones that have like
details must be there.
Yeah. Okay. Then my next question for you will be, if you're to think about all of those things like you mentioned, what would you say is the one that is most reflected in today's fashion?
I would say corsets, actually. I'd say corset and petticoats. Why? Because like, I feel like in the bridal space now, you can't, I mean, if you think, oh, a wedding gown, the first thing I think is, oh, a ball, you know, the petticoat, before you know, say, okay, no, let's do something, you know, slim fitted, let's do satin, let's do, but the first thing that comes to mind is like, oh, it's a wedding, she's going to be in a ball gown.
That's Cinderella feel.
Yeah. So that's where I feel like from the Victorian era, we can still see it in like the bridal space, in the fashion space. We see it with our ashwebis. I mean, Nigerians that have decided we are not leaving corset behind.
No way.
So we've decided
to stay.
I mean, and also with the American brands, I mean, we saw the Met Gala and the different kinds of, you know, wooden corsets, pearl corset, like the one Ariana Grande wore. And I'm like, okay, we still have a long way to go with this corset thing. We are not just stopping at the whole snatches.
Because if I'm to be honest, in like the last 2-3 years, the corset rampage in this country, it's like Andrea said, I've discovered this thing. I'm not gonna let it go. I'm going to hold it. I'm going to strangle it by the neck because I'm like, what is wrong with you people?
I think at a point we had to say, see, it's okay.
It's okay, exactly.
And especially for ashwebis, like I feel like right now, if I see someone without a corset for a wedding, I'm like, oh,
you appreciate it.
That's a nice style. I want to try it, but not like I've seen it all. We've seen ashwebi.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because if we're to even talk AMVCAs, for example, remember Osasa's script. You know, if we're to talk about stylists in the industry, that Veekee James is...
I mean, Veekee James is the queen of corsetry. Let's not lie. She's there. I mean...
Exactly. And at first, when I saw the Osas clothes, my initial reaction wanted to be, a corset again. But then I'm like, no, look beyond that.
Different.
Because look at this. Look at everything. The bonings that
was
over
just
the
like
shoulder.
Art. I mean, normally the boning is supposed to be in the corset.
Exactly.
And Veekee was like,
no,
let's bring it out.
Take it out.
Let's spread the bones.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it was
really,
really nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just that we know that if I carry myself like this and I go meet my tailor and I say, I want to sew this clothes, it's gonna be a typical case of what I ordered.
I think another thing Nigerians should stop doing is actually the whole giving your tailor something you see from Veekee James. I'm not gonna lie. As per being in the space enough, at least you know a little this and that is happening, like where she's getting stuffs from. He's not here.
It's not here.
Hey, see, for example, Tokia's dress to the AMVCA. Of course, it was a corset. And I'm like, okay, this is pretty. But she dropped a video of how she created that. And it's a painted dress. Meanwhile, you carry yourself to
Alaba
Balogo
markets.
and be begging fabric suppliers. Oh, please, where can I see this fabric? It's not, it
And you'll not be
doesn't
willing to
exist.
spend that fortune that
Exactly.
they spent on it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's okay to get inspirations. It's okay to get, like, we're literally Victorian era is corsets, but see the evolution of how different designers have come up with their own style. Just create something.
Yeah.
It can still be the whole snatch weight. You can use zips to make corsets. The first corset I ever made, I actually used a zip instead of rope.
Serious.
Like, I don't have anybody to come and be doing. Let's snatch with the zip too. So, yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And I'll add this. This is for the designers or the designers. I'm putting air quotes because some of you call yourselves designers, you're tailors. Anyways, this is for you guys. If a client comes and says, I want this, if you cannot do it, please don't lie to us. We're tired of being lied to. We're tired of feeling like, oh yeah, give us the assurance, and then we end up doing something entirely different. Anyways, that's by the way.
Yeah.
So I mentioned the AMVCAs, but that's not even the focus.
Okay.
Like we said, this is Bridgerton x Victorian. So we're gonna be
by
doing
now, be in the background shooting.
exactly. That's you got it. Anyway, let's talk the Bridgerton premiere, the one that happened in South Africa. Recently. Let's highlight a few
looks. Okay.
Yeah,
this
maybe
is two. This is where I like to be.
This is where you like to be. We're not doing fashion police here. No, not fashion police.
No.
Okay.
We're not judging outfits. I'm just like, we just want to appreciate their creativity, of course. Yeah.
Okay. So, your best look, like you just off the top of your head.
Off the top, Kim Opera. Instantly. I know I mean, Priscilla Ojo's look was chef's kiss, but Kim Opera is, you know, when you haven't seen someone do something like that, she was literally Queen Charlotte, like down to the wig.
Queen Charlotte. But with the class of Lady Danbury.
Thank you.
That was what I saw.
So, like, merging two characters that were exceptional was just beautiful
like,
as a dress.
I zoomed in. I'm like, is this what I'm seeing?
Like,
and then her skin. Everything was giving what it was supposed to give. Literally. So, yeah, I think I agree with you.
Kim Opera. Then I'd go with Priscilla Ojo next. I mean, she's rightfully says she's the diamond of all seasons, not just this season. All seasons, she's actually giving us back to back. I mean, the first year was the blue with the cape.
Yes, that was so good.
Extra bright Lagos, relax. Like, then the second one was this green one, and I'm like, yeah.
And I don't know if you like see her content, you'd see that previously she put out a video for like inspiration. Yeah. So when I saw it, I was like, at first I was like, hope this girl is not trying to cast what she's going to wear. What you wear had better give what is supposed to give.
I mean, the videos, all the looks gave.
Exactly.
Then she now came like, I'm not done.
I'm like,
I'm not
done not finished her looks. But she just came and she literally turned everything I had in my head upside down. She told me personally in my ears that
she told you, right?
I'm not done.
Yeah.
I'm not done with you. And she gave.
Every bit. Yeah.
And I like the maids, like that concept.
I mean, when I saw it, I was like, wow, that's different. Like, I feel like Nigerians in general, in terms of creativity, they don't play. Like, we got it.
Exactly.
Day our body. Yeah. When we want to put it out, it's
there. Exactly.
Jeez, I was mind blown. I can't lie. It was
too good. Then guys, let's do men.
Straight off the top of my head would be Temisa. I loved his corset, waistcoat, off shoulder, with the stick, his pants. Everything was a 10 for me. Like, woo.
Initially, I didn't notice that it was an off shoulder, right? I'm like, Kilele. I looked at did the double take. I'm like, oh, this is what it's supposed to be, and it was
really nice.
too good. It was too good because most men play it safe. You know, they're like, oh, women are the ones that have room for creativity. And
black suits, throw it on. We're good to go.
As they wear a tie and that's what.
Or change it to a bow tie.
Exactly, and that's where it ends.
What can we say? But we appreciate the creativity. We do.
It was too good.
Yeah.
I'll say for me, the first person is Ebuka.
I mean, AMVCA kills it every time.
So yeah.
So it's like we couldn't expect less.
Exactly.
You know,
like if he had worn something that was different or dull, that's a disappointment.
You're just like, it's not AMVCA.
Is it going through a lot?
What's going on?
You start questioning things.
But you just expect AMVCA is going to kill it. So let's just like look at someone else. Let's look at someone.
Let's give someone the. That's I get it. I get it. But nah. Actually, with the magnifying glasses that he used,
did you see his silver shoes? Like he brought out shoes that are supposed to be outdated and wore it in 2024.
Even Timison's shoes too were really, really nice.
What is going on? Where are you people getting
these things from?
But it was like the Bridgerton premiere.
Fantastic.
Fire.
Okay. Up next, we're going to be talking about how these things reflect in real time. So we need you, and your expertise to give us a sort of breakdown. Of course, it can't be a deep breakdown because this is not fashion school, right?
Yeah.
But a mini breakdown of how these things apply. Because a typical Nigerian will go for an event and they'll be wearing Victorian inspo type of this thing, but they don't know.
Yeah.
Right? So that's what we're going to be talking about. But before we do that, we're going to go on a short break where we're going to ask people on the streets questions about some of their biggest celebrities and their styles. This is literally like the voice of the people. So make sure you stay. We're going to be right back.
My name is Ashin Zenansi.
Yinjeso.
Ifoma.
Kachi.
Olayo.
If you were given a chance to raid a celebrity's wardrobe, whose would you raid?
I would definitely raid Chioma Goodhair's wardrobe. Listening God's fashion. Veekee James' wardrobe. Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. You left Naija and just you went there.
I like her style.
I'm thinking Kiki.
If you were given a chance to trash a celebrity's wardrobe, whose would you trash?
I would trash Iyabo's wardrobe because her style is very somehow, it's very questionable. I would trash V from Big Brother.
Are you serious?
Doesn't fit her body type or some type. Yeah, she doesn't wear clothes that suit her body type. I have to agree with her. I'll trash V's wardrobe.
V.
Doja Cat.
That's necessary. I will trash it too. I will join you in trashing it head to toe, top to bottom.
Welcome back to the Fashion Blueprint. As I said earlier, Emmanuella is going to be running us through samples, pictorial descriptions of how Victorian fashion still applies till today. And I know many of you don't know that you're wearing reflections of those things because you see it as a typical maybe Ashrabi type of wear. So that's what she's going to highlight for us so that you know that when you're wearing this thing, this is where it comes from. And personally, I like to know my history. I like to know, right? Mm-hmm. So I don't think I'm the only one that likes to know. I think some of you like to know. So you're going to know today. Ella, over to you.
So over to me now. Okay, I take the floor. All right. Welcome to class. Anyway, guys, so I'd say first I start with the fabric. Let's start with fabrics. A lot of fabrics we'd see in the Victorian era is actually lace. Yeah, lace. The lace you wear that we transform to traditional wear.
Yeah.
We transform to mesh dress. We transform to gloves. The Victorian era.
Exactly.
Then where do we move on to? The next thing I'll move on to is our accessories. For example, we see a lot of pearls. My darling, the Victorian era and pearls.
Fair fancies.
Extravaganza. Yeah. So if you find yourself going, picking pearls, picking beads, you might be into the Victorian era style. Of course, once again, corsets. If you like corsets, if you like a snatched waist, you would fit perfectly
in the Victorian.
In fact, Bridgerton needs to offer you a character. Here, we want to snatch your waist. Yeah. So if you find yourself loving some of these things, it's definitely a love that you have for the Victorian fashion because those things are major highlights of the Victorian era fashion in that time. Yeah.
And then for the men?
For the men, I mean, we see all their waistcoats, tuxedos, when you have a cocktail and, what's the first thing you find yourself yeah, what should I wear? If you had no Pinterest, if you had no Google, what's the first thing you'd say comes to mind? You'd say, oh, a black suit with, the tuxedo black suit, I mean, and a waistcoat.
Like that flary bow tie.
The flary, that was the next thing I was about to say. Instead of like opting for a tie. You're opting for the ruffle or a scarf.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Those scarves. There's a way they now do it that it comes out looking like almost like triangle.
That is like the most creative thing I've seen.
Very,
honestly,
very nice.
If I was into like, styling myself that way, which I will soon be, I just got an inspo just now. Maybe I should just try out that content.
Make sure that you tag the sauce.
I will. Thank you so much for bringing me on this show once again. But yeah, so those things are mostly Victorian era fashion. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so with wigs, I mean, aside the whole tall, high wigs, if we're aligning the Bridgerton series to the Victorian era, we'd see a lot of characters not necessarily having so much, hair and all of that. Say, for example, Eloise. Say, for example, Francesca. You see they are coily, they just coil their hair and just like style it in a half up, half down. Yeah. Put in some little flower and pin and
it
you're
makes
good to go.
Total sense. Yeah. Yes. Especially, that style actually applies more to the younger ones, or like when they're in like comfortable spaces is when they are trying to go all out.
Yeah, for like the ball.
Yeah, that's when some of them, and not even all of them, some of them, go the extra mile. Yeah. So as we have seen play out today in this very brief conversation, you're not only wearing clothes. Every piece of wool you see comes from a ship. Every design that you see comes from a source. Yeah. That's the essence of the fashion blueprint. So I hope that this helps you when it comes to your styling, knowing what to match with what, knowing that you cannot wear corsets or like lace with certain type of outfits. The beautiful thing about corsets, might I add, is that you can play corsets out with almost anything, but not every thing. So you have to be careful. So when you're looking for corset inspos, put Victorian fashion on your Pinterest. Like literally put it. It helps you. I mean, I got this off of Pinterest. Literally.
And
right?
she looks so good.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. So yeah, that is the essence of the fashion blueprint. Remember, you are what you wear. I see you. I see what you wear. It makes me want to, accord you a certain type of way. Thank you so much, Ella.
Thank you so much once again for having me.
I'll say it the British way. Thank you.
You're more than welcome, my dearest reader.
Oh my God. That was good. That was too good. All right. Till next time, as we wrap up, we have a special package for you. This is from some of our viewers and followers on social media. They're going to be showcasing certain styles that they got from the Victorian Bridgerton inspiration. So this is a time for them to showcase their creativity, and I am here for it. I hope you enjoy watching, and thank you.
My name is Loretta, and my brand, which is Lores Couture, is a stylish, classy and streetwear brand. This brand just entails on Ankara wears and English wears too. This brand brings out the uniqueness in Ankara fabrics. It shows how we can be stylish and also classy in Ankara fabrics. I have run the brand for 5 years, though I've not been consistent with it because of school. But since 2022, I've been consistent with it back to back, and I just pray everything turns out well. My brand sells for basically everybody, the old, the young. In fact, everyone can put on this brand. It gives more of comforts in a stylish way, and that African vibe that you desire in a personality. It also gives you this kind of stylish look wherever you're going to. You've seen how I build my dresses, and I know, and you know, we need one of these in your wardrobe. You can contact me on Instagram or TikTok with Laura Couture.